Yep, still waiting on that new Guns N' Roses record.
Is that right?
Tenderness Duff Mckagen is the third studio release from Duff and is available via most digital streaming services, CD and also the LP, Deluxe and Standard editions. Features 11 tracks and is produced by Shooter Jennings. The album was inspired by McKagan's global travels on the Guns N' Roses Not In This Lifetime tour, which was an awesome tour by the way, and is considered a musical follow-up to his 2015 How to Be a Man book. Now the recording of this album actually began during the Not This Lifetime tour, where Duff began collaborating with Shooter Jennings on a few tracks, as well as collaborations with The Water and the Suicide Horn section. The album opens with the title track Tenderness, and it's a pretty good reflection of what you can expect on this album. It's a very folk-driven album. This track is very ballad-esque, and it actually opens with piano, and later is layered by acoustic and also lap steel guitar to really complement the sound. Falling Down is a pretty solid follow-up to the Tenderness track, and it's actually one of the highlights of the album in many ways. What I found quite interesting with this album is that Duff really taps into some really good subject matter as a lyricist on this album here. And the song Last September was written in response to the Me Too movement, which deals with an unwanted sexual encounter. And it's really here in this song that the lyrics are pretty thought-provoking and pretty heartfelt. On the other hand, there's a track on here called Parklands, which deals with mass shootings and subject matter surrounding that. And while I feel that this topic is a very important topic given what's going on in the world right now, I just feel that the particular vocal delivery Duff uses in this song, coupled with these lyrics that he's written, it's all just a little bit too heavy-handed and not as thought-provoking as, say, the Last September track. Now look, Duff Mckagen's work as a backup singer has been well documented on a bunch of Guns N' Roses records, and he's always sounded excellent backing Axl up. Now here up the front as a lead singer, it's a little bit of a different kettle of fish going on here. When he takes the lead, his work on tracks like Cold Outside, where he takes a lower vocal line, a lower melody, it works quite well, and his voice is actually reminiscent of Axl singing songs like Patience. His vowels and his particular vocal delivery are very, very similar to Axl, and I think here he works very well. When he's going for the higher notes, however, it just starts to sound a little bit shaky, and it's one of those things where it can work very well for this particular style of music, but overall, I just prefer hearing Duff as a backup singer. Now, producer Shooter Jennings, who worked with Duff on a lot of this material here, tends to keep everything pretty stripped down in the mix. Apart from like an old school reverb on Duff's voice in some of these tracks, everything is pretty dry, but the mixes work really well here. In fact, everything's pretty well balanced here. He's really assembled a great lineup of musicians, and everyone here really gives a solid performance on their instrument. There's nothing really here that stands out. Everything's kind of stripped back in order to serve the songs, and everything breathes quite nicely around Duff's voice. Now look, those coming into this album having never experienced Duff's solo material before, expecting a hard rock album reminiscent of, say, Appetite for Destruction, may come away a little bit disappointed. In fact, if you go to some digital streaming platforms, you may even see that this album is labeled as a hard rock album. It is not a hard rock album at all. In fact, this is a very acoustically driven album that's more of a folk acoustic album with some country and blues leanings on some of these tracks here. And you can really hear that Duff's really tapping into more of a Bob Dylan-esque type of influence going on here, but I just don't feel that the songwriting is as strong as, say, what Bob Dylan can deliver. As such, I had an okay time with this album. It's definitely not a bad album by any means, but there's just really nothing here that really hooked me and grabbed me and took me on a journey. Apart from, say, Tenderness and Falling Down, most of these tracks are sort of okay-ish, and I think that this album definitely has a place, but I think it's more of an album you can have on in the background while you're doing other things. Come on, Duff. Let's just get back with Izzy, Slash, and Axl and make a killer Guns N' Roses record. I'm going to give Duff Mckagen Tenderness a C. So guys, what are your thoughts on the album? Have you heard it yet? Let me know in the comments below what you thought, and of course while you're there, also let me know what your favourite Guns N' Roses record is of all time. If you dug this review, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and until next time guys, don't forget, support the artist, buy the music. Rock on.